somehow, somewhere, we should be live streaming right about now. And there we are. Okay. Let me get the
Yay!
music started. Here we go. Hold on. Let's see. So you want to be? Let's dance.
So you wanna be
So you want to be
a
a
cool
cool kid hanging, hanging with the kids in the crowd. We are coming up to the bridge.
So you wanna
Let me
be
get my sticks up. Here we go. Pop, 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 pop. Okay, let's get this music lowered here. When you're your own VA, there we go. Hi, Mary Ann. This is Bonnie D. How are you today?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Well, it's so damn early in the morning, but you're a busy lady. Your business, Lavender Dragon, is booming. And you said, we're either doing this at 9 o'clock Eastern time or I'm not available all day. So I had to get up early. And here we are. Mary, I'm so glad. Listen, just for the heck of it, why don't you reintroduce yourself to people and tell them who you are, what you do in 33 words or less? I just made up that number.
I love it. 33. It should be 42, the answer to the meaning of life. But I am co-founder of the Lavender Dragon team. We are e-learning course developers, AI playmates, and just a bunch of fun people.
That's really cool. And what did you do before you did Lavender Dragon? What else? Give us a little
Before,
background.
okay, so well, you said 33 words or less, so
Well,
I
I'm
was
giving you
trying to.
another 33, another
Okay,
33.
so
Double
prior
or
to that,
nothing.
I managed an instructional design team for a very large technology company in the Nashville area. Prior to that, I was a professor and director of distance education at a community college for several years. And prior to that, I was in hotel food and beverage operations management, managing restaurants, banquets, training. And prior to that, I was in fast food because that's what every kid in America does, or used to back in the day, was work in
Except
fast food.
me. Mary, if go to my theme song, So You Want to Be. I wrote the lyrics, and my good friend
Hmm.
Serge Hoffman, two N's on Hoffman, who is a musician and wonderful person in Paris, in Paris. He did the music, he composed the music and sings the song. So You Want to Be. Did you ever think growing up that you would want to be all of the careers you just mentioned, Mary?
No, actually, when I was a kid, I wanted to pump gas at a gas station.
I know a woman in New Jersey who bought a gas station.
This
Was
is
to,
back in the day when you still had gas station attendants. So, but
yes.
that was my aspiration, was to pump gas in a gas station because I just thought it would be fun.
I I don't know what I wanted to be. I know that instead of a Barbie doll, I had a Ginny doll, which never got to be
Okay.
that popular, but she had blonde hair and I used to try and do stuff with her hair. I think I cut it a couple of times. It didn't grow back. I made it into ponytails or something like that. No, she wasn't a redhead. I just to refresh, I'm Bonnie D. I think I could do this in 32 words. Name that tune. I'm a live radio creator, producer, and host, storyteller, playwright, artist. We'll find that out later. Drummer, you saw the sticks. Poet, creator of the 3 minute soundbite roundtable for thought leaders, no selling, no politics, early woman in tech back in the COBOL Xerox CP5, Sigma CP5, key punch days, a former stand up, just trying to be funny sitting down now. How does that sound, Mary?
I
Good.
like it.
Thank you. That's my life in a nutshell. I don't know. I'm just a nut now, not a shell. Let me just do my opening quick poem here, just so people say, oh, but it's Bonnie. She's got to do her opening poem. So, you know us on our own, Bonnie D and Mary N. Wave hello. Dynamic personas again and again. Don't you feel honored, Mary?
Oh,
In LinkedIn's
yes.
halls and socials embrace. Let's hug. Oh, socials embrace. We love to talk tech virtually face to face. That's I think, an oxymoron. Together now here on We Dish, we're here to play, lighting up the stream waves. See them waving in a fresh, fun way, chatting on culture, tech, wacky news we adore, music, food, laughter, travel, and oh, so much more. No politics here, just joy and delight. Watch or listen live or demand, find us day or even in the night. Meet us for real with your questions in tow. Comments are welcome. Just be nice. You know who you are, you know. So tune in, engage, let's laugh and connect on more Two Saucy Dames, our own dialect. Bonnie D and Mary in Two Saucy Dames today. Together we'll dish. We have so much to say. See, that's something that Alexa can't give it to you in those glowing in the emotion, right? Isn't that what's missing? The
That
emotion.
is. That is.
Did you read the New York Times article the other day where a writer did She took a prompt and she wrote a short, very short meet and greet dating romance article, a short story. And
Hmm.
she asked an LLM like ChatGPT to gave it the same prompts to write the story. And she put both of them in the article and said, "Can you tell which one was written by the human and which was written by?" Did you happen to see that, by the
I
way?
did. Yes, you shared it with me. It was interesting.
Did you know which one was the human and which was the AI story?
I did.
Me too.
But I think part of that is because you and I are so immersed in using AI on a daily basis that there's certain tells, just like with
Yep.
humans. Like
Yep.
I have my, filler words like so or like. And so people know, like, okay, Mary's going to be sewing again because she's waiting to fill up some space. And so there are some certain words or certain stylistic things that even when you ask the AI to write in the style of,
Yeah.
they still, but it was fun. The Neuron, which is a AI newsletter that's been around for a while, used to
Hmm.
do the same thing with images. Like, can you spot
Oh,
when they
yes.
when they first started? It was pretty cool. And by doing that exercise, I got better and better at detecting the AI generated images, and it also helped me get better at writing prompts to create my own images.
I did a few of those quizzes. I don't know if they were from the Neuron or not, and I get that as well as TTLR and Nice News. I get lots of newsletters,
Hmm.
and I don't mind getting them because there's usually a nugget, maybe every third or fourth issue. But what's interesting was there was recently a challenge online came in one of my newsletters on here are pictures. Can you tell which is an AI creation versus a photo of real people doing something? And
Hmm.
it showed an office, showed somebody's desk. And they said, what are the, and somebody posted on LinkedIn, what are the telltale signs that this was an AI generated image? And what's funny to me is that the things people commented on made no sense, Mary, because number one, there were two pairs of glasses on the desk. Well, guess what? They said, what human would have two pairs of glasses? Hello, somebody who wears glasses for computer versus glasses with a little bifocal in the bottom for walking, for reading,
Hmm.
for driving, for watching TV, for being a human being, not at my desk. You'd always find one pair of glasses on and one on the desk. And then another one was they said, "Oh, there's two cups of coffee." Well, one was like a little espresso and one was a full size. Well, maybe I put water, maybe I had my espresso and then I needed water to chase it and it was in a regular coffee mug. You
Oh,
know how many, go
I'm
ahead, you
just
know,
laughing because there's all of these people I follow that talk about ADHD and stuff. And one of the things I talk about is it's like for many, not all, but many people with ADHD, you might have 4 or 5 beverages. And I'm looking in my office and I have an entire beverage station, but I have my tea. And then I've got a water bottle. Then I have iced tea. Then I have, so it's like, I got 4 beverages and that's normal because it's like, well, I need this beverage for this and this beverage for this.
at least these two, clear glass of water. And I used to put water in this, but it doesn't, it's beautiful glass, but it
Hmm.
doesn't taste as good. It doesn't stay as cold in this. And then I will tell you, I have this mug somebody made for my Monday night show, Read My Lips, and
I
that's full of
love it.
pens and markers. So that's on the desk.
Yeah.
And I probably have a couple of others here that I don't have within reach. And yeah, so the idea that there were two coffee cups on and two pairs of glasses meant that it was an AI picture. And I said to myself, what reality are these people living? For goodness
Yeah.
sake, what's wrong with that? I didn't get. So I was going to comment, and then I said to myself, haters will hate. And I don't want any haters telling me, "Oh, what's wrong with you? Two cups and two pairs of glasses on your guy. You must be weird." I didn't want that. So
That's right. That's right. No, it's like, but yeah, it's just like I wear regular glasses, but then maybe have your reading glasses or your sunglasses or
there
whatever.
you
So
go. There you
yeah,
go. There you go. See, so we're chatting already, and this wasn't even on our topic list, but
that's
this is
right. That's
we're
right.
dishing. We're dishing. We
That's right.
dish. We dish. And I did have somebody from my Monday night Read My Lips show say to me, she's a numerologist, very interesting lady. And I said, would you like to maybe come on perhaps We Dish? And she said, oh, I can talk for 2 hours. And I said, no, you didn't get it. Here are the links and follow. This is 30 minutes of back and forth conversation about a couple
Hmm.
of topics. You're not lecturing. You're not selling anything. I don't
Ex-
think so.
it's a
So
coffee chat or a tea
it's
chat. Let's just like two friends going out to Starbucks or your local coffee shop of choice. And
that's
it's like,
right.
hey, I got 30 minutes. We're just going to have some conversation. Let's talk about a couple of wild topics. What book are you reading? What are you
That's
cooking
it.
for dinner tonight?
That's
Let's
it.
let's let's see your coolest new pictures on your phone.
And speaking of going out to dinner, I have 4 topics for us today. Number one, first of all, you're coming to visit me for real, and I'm going to cook
Yes.
breakfast for you and your partner next Thursday. It's a week from today. I've started cleaning the house already.
Oh my.
Don't say anything. Rearranging the plants and getting all my lavender artwork ready to show you.
Wow.
I'm going to gift you one of my paintings, Mary, if you like something small, but something with I'm picking a whole bunch of stuff for you to look at. I just want you to take
Oh,
something and I'll sign it. Anyway, here's
that
topic
would be
number one.
awesome.
In case you're in a book club, I don't care if you are for real or not. In case you're in a book club, your book club just reviewed a celebrity cookbook. And one member whom you know very well, these are women and men, let's say, she was adamant, in this case, it's a woman, about measuring every ingredient, following every direction exactly precisely. Quarter teaspoon of this, half a teaspoon of that, stir for 12 minutes, put the heat on medium high. You invited her and her partner, friend, for dinner this coming Saturday. Okay. So, Mary, will you be trying out a recipe from the celebrity cookbook? And will you be held to the precision generative requirement that this woman insists? Will you prepare your own dish, or will you just order takeout and say, oh, look what I made today? Or will you admit it's takeout? Mary, what are you going to serve on Saturday night? Go ahead.
So with a friend like that, most likely I will be ordering takeout. And I will just say, tell me what you would like, and I will order it from your favorite restaurant.
I love it. If you were going to cook something on your own, what would that be? You have a favorite dish you like to make?
Oh, there's all kinds of things. We like to experiment. So I like to do Dutch apple pancakes for breakfast, which are really good. And this weekend I experimented. And so talk about completely going off the recipe other than a couple of core ingredients. But we had some frozen peaches left over from last summer. So I made a peach pancake with almond flour instead of regular flour. And it turned out phenomenal. The only thing I would have done different is I forgot that there was extra moisture in the peaches from being in the freezer. And so I would
Mm.
have decreased the liquid a little bit to compensate. So we just had to cook it a little bit longer to make sure that it wasn't runny in the middle, but it turned out excellent.
What do you serve on top of your pancakes, Mary?
So when it's breakfast, I generally just have them as is or sprinkle a little powdered sugar on them. But if
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating the pancake for lunch or dinner, usually a scoop of vanilla ice cream. And then it now becomes more of
That's
a dessert.
extravagant. I always keep a small bottle of real maple syrup in the fridge, and then I'll pour a little in a glass and warm it up a drop
That's it.
with a little bit of butter on top of a pancake, usually. Well,
That's
I'm
I am not a
planning.
maple syrup person. So even as a kid, when I was forced to put syrup on pancakes, I would literally put one drop and then eat around it.
Oh, interesting. Well, I have made, speaking of frozen, home frozen peaches, I have been making fresh blueberry preserves. And I have a small jar of them. I'm saving some for when you come. So, what am I getting here? Let me turn off my audio here on my phone. I broke my own rule here. So, uh, this is a recipe where you take the fresh blueberries, you pull out the few stems that are there, you put them in a pan with a little bit of white sugar or whatever sweetener you like. I like
Mhm.
the real thing. No water because there is moisture in them, and you stir them until they boil and then you let them go down. There's no pectin involved, a little bit of lemon zest, and maybe a squeeze of lemon juice, and that's about it.
Yum.
And you have to cook them a long, long time until they boil down, and then you wait till they cool, and you put them in jars, or just I put them in glass and put a little cover loosely over the top of them. So when you come next week, I'm going to make omelets to order. So if you want
Ooh.
cheese or if you want Vidalia onion sauteed in them or whatever you like,
Ooh.
and I'm going to serve some really good whole grain bread on the side. I might even bake muffins for you and fresh
Wow.
blueberry preserves. How does that sound for breakfast next week?
That sounds amazing. And see, I'm not one of those finicky guests, so you can just cook anything you like.
And I didn't answer the question on the celebrity cookbook because that was for you, not for me. Let's go to topic number two. Topic number two is you, Mary N, have just won a trip to any city in the United States that has an airport.
Ah,
It will be
yes.
airfare return, not a one-way ticket. That would be interesting. Yeah, you got to walk back. And hotel in a decent hotel and meals for 2 nights. So it's a Friday leave, Sunday afternoon return, 2 nights, 3 days, basically, to any city in the US. You have to use it in 30 days. Where would you go?
I'm boring. I'm going back home to Chicago.
I don't think that's boring at all. What are you going to do in Chicago? You going to visit with family and friends?
Visit friends, shop and eat, and go do some cemetery tours with the Mysterians.
Nice. I would go back to New York, of course. I would go to New York and I don't know what hotel I would stay in. I don't think I've ever stayed in a hotel in New York City other than going to conferences in hotels, but I would probably do MoMA, go to the Museum of Modern Art. I would walk around Fifth Avenue. I would not take the subway. Didn't even do that for years even when I was living there. I don't know. I might go to a couple of other museums, probably the Met. I would probably go to one of the science museums, maybe browse through Bergdorf. It's still there. Tiffany's, just for the heck of it, just to see the glory, the grandeur of Fifth Avenue. Maybe go to Central Park a little bit, go up toward Lincoln Center, and just absorb the city just for a day. And the second part of the weekend, I don't know what I would do. I'd go to the theater.
Well,
I
there you
would
go.
get tickets. I'd get tickets to something fun on Broadway and try to get decent seats and just enjoy that aura, that feeling of live theater, that
Yeah, see,
wonderful excitement.
yeah, I mean, Chicago has great live theater too. For me, I would like just keep my fingers crossed and book a weekend when there was a mysterious Chicago graveyard tour so that we could
Yeah.
do that because the Adam Seltzer, who's the tour guide, does phenomenal tours and a lot of Chicago history. He also does New York tours, so he's really cool and he knows his stuff. So if he was doing one in Lincoln Park Zoo, that
You just cut out. You coming back? Mary, Mary. We have lost Mary. She's still here. Mary, can you hear me, dear? I hope we don't have to end this. Mary, Mary. Miss Mary, are you there? Oh my goodness, we're live streaming and I've lost my guest. She is absolutely frozen in time. Let's give it another 30 seconds and then I will. Up, she dropped. She's going to come back. This is We Dish More Two Saucy Dames and waiting for Mary to come back. And here
here
she
we
is.
here we go.
There you.
Remember when we were warming up and I said that I was having internet issues either also,
Yep.
and you were mid-sentence. I was talking about the Tomb Snooper. You froze, and I just sent you a text message saying, "Yep, here we go again. My internet
Here we go again.
froze."
I waited for you. I said, we're on Too Saucy. The funny thing was you mentioned about tombs and what I would do that I haven't done in a couple of years is I would go to the cemetery to visit my parents and my sister, where I'll end up eventually. And
Well, so interesting story about cemeteries. My partner Ken also has a home in the Chicago area, and the
uh-huh.
cemetery where my parents are buried, as and my grandmother, is literally abuts his house. So he goes and takes care of the graves and stuff for me when he's in town.
Oh, oh my goodness. I
What
didn't
was
I
really weird
didn't
is when we first met and he's like, "I'll take you to the cemetery." I got the wrong cemetery. I just knew it was the Polish cemetery on Milwaukee Avenue, but I picked the wrong one. So we spent hours walking around trying to find their graves
oh.
in the wrong place.
Well, we're in a pink mausoleum above ground, and it's my mother,
Oh,
my father, my sister, and there's a box that eventually will be
oh
me.
my.
And they have benches, and in the Jewish religion, you take a little rock and you put it underneath, either on the
Mhm.
gravestone if it's in the ground, or in front of that part of the mausoleum. It's an outdoor mausoleum, and it's pink marble, and it's lovely. And
Beautiful.
you just sit there and you just say hello. Anyway,
Yeah.
didn't want mean to make this sad, but you started it with visiting
Yeah,
graveyards. So I
well,
thought,
I go for the more wacky stories of
yeah,
history with the tours, but yeah, we all have to face our mortality at some point.
we do. And the mortality of the people we love and care about who are part of
Exactly.
our history and our journey. Mary, do you want to show some art today? Is that on your?
Sure, let's show a little bit of art today.
Let me stop the sound sharing here so that you can do the visual sharing. Go ahead, and I have some live pieces here next to me. I'm going to hold
All
up.
right,
So,
so
what would you like to share?
I'm getting a message that says someone else is sharing the host isn't
No, I
allowing.
stopped the share. You can share. You should
Okay,
be able to
well,
share
it
now.
was just okay. It was just giving me that message. So we're going to share some
There
of
you go.
my night cafe creations. So this is Stanley, the cat that I have mentioned before, put several of his images into Night Cafe Studio and created sort of this hodgepodge. And so I wanted Stanley to be out walking in the rain. And I love the way that the AI gave him this umbrella. But the part that I've really been having fun playing with is now I can add some animation. So notice he was in the rain, but now he's actually in the rain.
Hmm.
So you've got
It's
these
moving. It's
yeah.
moving.
So you got this. This was the original, but then when I come over here to the video version and click play, he's actually in the rain.
Unreal.
So I thought that that was really, really cool. So I wanted to share that. This one again was just kind of playing with prompts and changing some things. And so it was a stack of books with flowers on top. But I put this as a grid so you can see, like, depending on how I change the prompt, we have different backgrounds, we have different kinds of flowers, different styles of books. So that one was fun. And then the last one was a variation on a prompt. I'm in a AI art group, and every weekend we get a play date prompt, and this was to have a dragon hugging an elderly woman. And of course, I had to change it to a lavender dragon, and then again,
Beautiful.
a slightly
Oh,
different
Mary.
variation of it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're
Do
welcome.
you get any negative feedback about your using AI for this artwork? Do you get any
So
bashing or trashing from people?
I occasionally do, and I figured that if they saw my regular artwork, I would get a lot more bashing and trashing because pretty much I can hardly draw a stick figure. So for me to be able, paint by numbers, I fail at that. Stick figure drawing. So to me, it's just like, hey, it's not for everybody, but there's no way that I could draw a dragon with that depth and level of emotion for, for the real world. So I
Interesting.
just roll with it. Um, and
I
sometimes I've
agree.
had some really weird ones show up, and where I found the AI really helpful is working on some things for client projects where, for example, we don't have an image that is very specific. And
Hmm.
the normal sources like Getty Images and Shutterstock and Wikimedia Commons don't have the image that we need. And I can go to AI and at least create a mock-up style of image and then go back
Yes.
to the client and go, okay, this is AI generated, full disclosure, but oh my goodness.
This is a recent real picture I did with paint pouring acrylics, and this is called Heartbreak in the City.
That's
And
gorgeous.
I thank you. And I have the heart with the lines going through it. And then I have jewels on it. I think I can't
Mm-hmm.
see from the back here. And these are buildings. I like to do verticals. And after I paint, I scrape with a little kitchen scraper.
Oh,
I
cool.
scrape down to the canvas and see whatever color is there. And each of the little boxes is supposed to be a window. Let me see if I can. I'm looking at the transcoder here to see where I am. There we are.
Yeah.
Each of those little boxes is a window with people in it, and those little purple and gold are washi tape, which is a sticky tape that you
Okay.
buy in different colors, and they represent a male and a female or a partner and a partner having a conversation. And some of them are nearby, and some of them are talking, and some of them are fighting, and it's all
I
representative of.
love it.
You like it? So I don't know if you can, how much of that you can see. Can you see the jewels in the
I
heart
can see
too?
the jewels. Yes.
Yeah, so that was one of my pieces I recently did. And
Nice. Very
and then
talented.
oh, I don't know about that. Uh this is one of my lavender pieces here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that pretty? And that's paint pouring with balloons. That's done with little water-filled balloon pressed into the different colors in the paint.
Oh,
Those are
okay.
some of my favorite colors. That's on a small white canvas. And then I have, let's see. This one is interesting, if I can get it here. This one is interesting. I hope it shows up. This is called MacArthur Park is Melting. And I
Oh,
used
wow.
glitter to write. The writing is actually MacArthur Park is
Okay.
melting. And I tilted the canvas and the glitter glue dripped down. So it's
That's neat.
representative. Is that cool? And that's done with balloons pressed into very small amounts of color all over the painting
Oh,
and all over
wow.
the
Okay.
canvas. And then I used a heat pen and I air dried quickly, hot dried the colors in the ball, which represents the park, and it fries them. It makes them kind of buttery looking or
Uh-huh.
plasticky looking. And that's what happens when you use the heat pen too close to the acrylic paint. It gets rippled. And so it's an interesting texture. But
That
it does say
is.
MacArthur Park is melting. And I thought, because I was a disco dancer, a competitive disco dancer back in the day, and I did a disco Hawaii contest at the Copa in Eugene, Oregon with my partner, Michael Walker, when I was 97 pounds and he was about 120. And he could lift me over his head. And we danced to the song Heaven Knows by Donna Summer
Okay.
from the MacArthur Park Suite.
Or-
Heaven knows just how much I
I
love you.
remember that.
And Michael and I came in from opposite sides of the huge, huge floor to an audience and judges. And we had sewn our costumes out of hammered blue silk. I had a top with little ties on the shoulders and a black satin skirt, Mary, that was 360 circle, and it opened up at the waist. It tied at the waist in black stockings and high heels. And his mother made him a very fluffy blue shirt to go with my shirt,
Oh, fun.
and we danced in from opposite sides. Da, 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 da. We danced in the middle. He did a full lift, lifted me over his head, spun me 3 times, death drop to the floor, spun me around over the floor, about 3 inches above the floor, and then righted me up on my feet, and we did our dance. And it was from MacArthur Park Suite. Heaven knows just how much you love
Oh,
me.
how fun.
Oh yeah, I don't know whatever happened to Michael, and I know I'm not liftable anymore. But anyway, I have one more to show you, and then I have a quiz picture to show you. This is another one that's done with
Oh,
paint pouring, and this was done with also these copper colors are squeezed right from a tube of very shiny copper metallic paint, and then I put a little bits of blobs of white over it and use the balloon to get the rough edges. And I thought this was kind of a
that's
stormy
pretty
thing.
cool.
Is that cool? So the one I wanted to show you, if I can find it quickly here, is I want you to tell me if you know what this is. And I'm going to do a quick screen share here.
Sure.
And I don't know if you can tell. I'm not going to tell you what I used. Let me do screen one. Here we go. Okay. Can you tell me what this is, Mary? Any idea?
It looks like a negative of a photo.
Okay. Would you like to know what it is?
Yes.
Okay. It is this glass that I'm holding up here.
Oh,
It is this
cool.
glass photographed
Okay.
with my iPhone with water, and then a close up on the 2 bubbles. See the bubbles there in the
Mm-hmm.
water in the middle? And then I use a program called Preview that's probably part of everybody's desktop services on an Apple, at least on a Mac. And I went in and I played with the color adjustment. It says edit color, and it has a like a bar chart, and you move the sliders, and I kept moving them until I got the purples and the reds and the blacks, and I cropped it just to this part. But that is this glass here. Is that something?
That is cool.
Is that
I was
cool?
close with photograph.
You were. That's this glass held up on a table with
Uh-huh.
just a photograph and cut out, just cropped right there, and then put into a preview program. It's not AI, it's just an editing program. Very simple, and it's great for taking screenshots. So I thought that was a lot of fun,
That
and that
is
was my
really cool.
my teaser. And it could have been in any tones of colors. It's not Photoshop, it's not complicated to
Right.
use. And you just save it. And I thought that was really, really cool beans. So our last part here is a couple of how are we doing on time? 24 minutes on the transcoder, probably. And you have another 10 minutes, I think, for me, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Mary, wacky headlines. You got a couple for me?
So I got a couple. They're not necessarily wacky. They just sort of
Okay.
appeal to me. And today we're talking about animals. So the first one was panda twins are born in Hong Kong to Ying Ying, the world's oldest first-time mom. And I just thought that was so cool because the little panda babies are just so adorable. And she was in panda years, probably close to 50, but she was the day before she turned 19 years old, she gave birth to twins for the first time.
Oh,
I know, and just the little pandas are just they're just so cute. They don't look
oh,
like pandas. They look like little
oh,
furry little whatevers,
balls.
but it's so neat. So anyway, that one just kind of captured my attention.
Okay. Why don't you do your second and third, and then I'll do my three real fast. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so my second one is because we were talking about graveyards earlier. A hunter's graveyard shift grabbing pythons in the Everglades. So I can't even imagine having that as my job, but he goes around and captures the pythons. It's after midnight when he does it, and he just goes around and catches these giant snakes. so that things can keep moving the way they're supposed to. So like I said, it's an animal kind of day. And
Yeah.
then the last one is Sam the kitty cat man, which is the cat's name, ran away thanks to a microchip. He was found close by 11 years later.
That's a hell of a microchip if it took 11 years.
Uh-huh. His owner couldn't even hold another cat because she just couldn't overcome the loss of Sam the kitty cat man. But he's back because they had a microchip put in, and he was found skinny and feeding off scraps from a feral
Oh,
colony, but they are
oh,
reunited.
11 years.
Yeah, can
Poor,
you imagine?
poor baby. I wonder if they have those be now and in the future pictures.
Well, they've got the now picture, but
Yeah. Oh, they do that when people are missing. They say that they were taken or they were missing 10, 15, 20 years ago. This is what we project they would look like. Oh,
yeah,
well, I
so
don't,
it was just exciting to see that
uh,
Sam the kitty cat man was found.
I'm
Because
glad.
I
I'm
had a
glad.
cat that went missing years ago, and she had escaped us in an apartment, and she went into the floorboards under the apartment building. And she was gone for the longest time, and it just was horrible. And then one day we were taking a shower and we heard this meowing coming from what sounded like inside the shower. And then we went outside and lifted up the kind of wooden plank that was part of the apartment entrance, and the poor cat had been in there living off of bugs and stuff. So we were reunited.
Oh, well, I didn't plan to tell this, but we had it when I was growing up. We had a little couple of parakeets, one at a time, and the first one was named Tweety, and it was yellow. It's a typical looking parakeet. And one day Tweety went missing, and we turned the house upside down. Literally, we stood upside down, and we had the whole neighborhood looking for Tweety. And an hour passed by, and then mom or dad or my sister and I went back in the house, and we were looking. We heard a little tweet, tweet. Tweety was sitting on top of the very heavy living room drapes in between the folds where the
Oh
pins were
gosh.
on on the top, where you pull the cord on the
Hmm.
railing, the whatever you call it, the top rod, curtain rod. Heavy. These were heavy drapes lined.
Wow.
And Tweety was laughing at us.
Oh.
And Tweety was there the whole time. Never left the
Oh.
house. Just watching us. So damn that little bird.
Tweety going, what are you people doing? I'm right here.
I have three stories that are about kids in the news. So I'm not doing
Okay.
animals, I'm doing kids. Number one, Time Magazine 2024 Kid of the Year is a young 15-year-old, well, 15 is young, named Heman, not Herman, Heman Beckley, Bekele, from Annandale, Virginia. And he invented a bar of soap that could offer a more accessible way to deliver medication to treat skin cancer, including melanoma. 15 years old.
Wow.
And he said, it's a surreal feeling to be honored. It's absolutely incredible to think that one day my bar of soap will be able to make a direct impact on somebody else's life. That's the reason I started this all. In 2023, 3M and Discovery Education named him America's top young scientist when he was 14 years old after he competed against 9 other finalists and he won a $25,000 cash prize. Now,
Wow.
that's a kid to watch. Here's another
Yes.
story about a 15-year-old named Dom, Dom, Pecora, Pecora. He's an entrepreneur. He opened a storefront in September 23, 3 years after his mom helped him open his business. His business was Dom Fixes Bikes. He wanted to have an expensive mountain bike. And his mom said, well, go make money and make it. So his business was so successful that not only did he buy his own dream bike, he bought bikes for 6 other kids. He worked out of his
Wow.
house. Then he found a one-car garage with no electricity and no bathroom to work out of. And last December, he set a goal to get out of the house and give away 100 bikes. Opened a
Wow.
storefront. He surpassed it thanks to sponsorships and donations sent to his nonprofit. He gave away 121 bikes.
That's
And
awesome.
listen to this. Dom says, since the beginning, I always wanted everyone to be able to ride a bike, no matter their financial abilities. The process is simple. Everyone who applies for a bike will get a bike. So he fixes bikes. He's 15 and he has a storefront now.
Wow.
And then I have a famous one. The youngest solo artist to ever record a #1 hit was little Stevie Wonder. In 1960, Motown signed one of its most legendary artists, 11-year-old little Stevie Wonder, born Stevland Hardaway Judkins. Stevie Wonder was a musical prodigy who, though he had been blind since early childhood, displayed virtuosic skill on almost every instrument he picked up. He received his stage name from Berry Gordy, founder of Motown, who first hearing the young man display his talent said, "This boy is a wonder. That boy is a wonder." Little Stevie Wonder. Didn't take long for the rest of the world to see that. Stevie Wonder became a musical superstar in 1963, 3 years later at age 13. He scored his first big #1 hit, and I bought this record as a 45 vinyl.
Oh my
Fingertips
goodness.
Part 2. I don't think I have it anymore, but I might. This made him the youngest solo artist ever to top the Billboard charts, a record he still holds 60 years later. What do you think of that?
Wow.
And if you've got 2 more seconds, I'll tell you that the world's largest 3D, not kids, 3D printed neighborhood is being done in Texas, in a city called Georgetown, north of Austin. And I just thought that was very, very
Very
interesting.
cool.
It's going to have all kinds of efficiencies, and it's 3D printed. And one more headline. Oh, well, this is an animal story. I saved this for you. Leona Helmsley left her dog Trouble in 2007, $12 million, and nothing to her grandchildren in her will. I just
Wow.
thought you'd like to know that. So that was buried in here in my headlines.
The
So
more
that's
you
it.
know.
So you're busy, Mary. You're
I
busy.
am,
And
I
what
am, and
kind
it's a
of
good
clients?
busy.
What kind of clients do you have? Just give us a peek here.
Working with a client that creates courses for the legal industry, working with another client that creates a wide range of courses that are primarily geared to education, higher ed, working with some restaurant groups. And tomorrow we're presenting at our local Chamber of Commerce on AI basics for business. So,
That is exciting. And you know, first of all, I don't know if anybody knows, I assume everybody knows, talking about not being an artist, our backgrounds here. I created this face of the winking woman in Night Cafe Studio, and I think I introduced Mary to that. I've got so many credits, and they're offering me to go pro and pay for pre. I have 1,000 credits, and I haven't done any designing recently. But I took this woman, the winking woman, and I had a couple text prompts: woman, hearts, red lipstick, winking, blue eyeshadow, blue eyes. And then I replicated her multiple times in Photoshop, and I added the title, the bar, We Dish, More Too Saucy Dames with Bonnie D and Mary M. So I use multiple tools, and I can't draw at all. You can see I can paint abstract,
mm-hmm.
but no tools. And this is what I do. So I am using AI art. That's very exciting. We have to talk more about that next time. Are you
Sure.
ready for our closing music?
Let's
What do you
go.
think? Should we do that? Let me start
Let's
the
do it.
music here. Let me get the volume. All kinds of things have to happen here. Here we go, Mary. I'm Bonnie D. This is Mary Ann. We Dish. TOO on purpose. Saucy Day. Mary, it's always fun talking to you.
I
Wait,
enjoy it.
bye. We'll close this down when we go to the bridge. Oh, we're dancing. Look at this. I'm catching up with you. Here we go. Let me get my sticks. Pop, 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 pop. Thank you, Serge Hoffman. We're going to close this down. Bye, social.
Bye.